We live in a world of weakness, not strength. We live in a world where people would rather be oppressed than take responsibility for their own action. We live in a world which centers itself around oppression and oppression. So effectively, in order to survive, if you're in this kind of mentality, which I'll explain psychologically in a minute, is you must have an oppressor to fall back on. Quite often now it's white privilege and white supremacy. I must have all of that. I don't know where it is, but I must have left it in the basement of my last flat. So the victim, the drama triangle is an ancient piece of psychology. It's a unilateral triangle, so three sides, and on the top is victim. On the left is perpetrator. Now, perpetrator can be a thing, place, person, trigger, whatever. That is, there's no limit to what perpetrator can be. Then you have a rescuer. Now, you might find that you play different roles in different relationships within your life. So some people might actually see you as a perpetrator, but others come to you when their life goes to rubbish, which makes you a rescuer. Now, none of this is good. Ultimately, it's kind of the victim who decides who becomes what in which role. But the idea is the basis for most dysfunctional relationships in life. So being a victim and playing the oppressed cards is the recipe for the most non-functional waste of a human life. Now, I don't know why our society has chosen to do that. I suppose it's much easier. Coke Zero. Best Coke Zero in the world. Seriously, I like it. What you do is you take an action. That action has a positive or negative reaction. If it has a positive reaction, you're going to take another action. If it has a negative reaction, in reality, in the old days when we were stronger, we learnt from that, came back with something better. Nowadays, if it has a negative reaction, it's bigoted. And they spend as much time coming up with something better as they do. Sorry. We used to keep as much time of thinking of better things as they do of thinking of better ways to oppress. Now, if you feel yourself a victim, get over yourself. You're not that important. If you feel you're being victimized, I need to see a crime. You can't be victimized by someone's words. Of course, if somebody were to be victimized and they were to be of a minority, and they were victimized because of that minority with really nasty language and sexual or bodily harm, then yeah, of course, we accept that as part of life and part of what we see as already legally deplorable and absolutely awful. No one wants anyone to be beaten for who they are. There must be some element of taking responsibility just generally in life. Because I can promise you, if that moment were to come, I don't wish it on anyone, but if that moment were to come where, let's say you were trans and you were victimized by a whole load of non-trans people, you would find the strength within you to get through. If you're part of the drama triangle and you're a perpetual victim, you'll search, identify, label, and gossip online, which is what I call Twitter or TikTok, about how this part of the oppressive regime specifically targeted you. And in that case, you won't get very far in life. So I hope this video has been useful and informative. If it has, please do click the please do lick the subscribe screen. It won't do anything if you do that. If you can click it with your mouse, it'll help. But I don't like to ask, but I have to. So, and if you haven't, then you've already gone. So that's all good. Got good stuff going. So tune in, keep watching. It's always appreciated.